Hey everybody, welcome to another I Love Beer show. Today we are at an undisclosed location somewhere in Vegas.
I know it is.
It's actually called Jimmy and Myrna's Cantina. And right here we have Jimmy. Jimmy, thanks for being on the show today.
Nice
and Jimmy is the main brainstorm of this entire event, and Matt is here. Matt is his help. Matt's a craft beer brewer, drinker, and generally everything about craft beer Matt knows. So everything is great. Jimmy, tell us about this place. This is really amazing.
My wife Myrna and I bought this place, goodness, about 8 years ago. It's 52 years old. It's an old school property here in Vegas.
Wow.
Old school pool, 18 by 36, 8-foot diving pool, and this is just a gem. It was a steal when we bought it. And the structure over here to our right, camera right, is the Cantina, which used to be a pool house.
Yeah.
And at one time probably a mother-in-law apartment. We came in, gutted it, and decided to make it a brew house.
You did an amazing job with this. I was over at one of his barbecues a while back, and I saw this. I thought this was like a great tribute to craft beer. We're like, we have to do a show here. We're finally here doing it. I'm really, really psyched about this today. This is really going to be great.
Let's go inside and check it out.
Excellent. Wait, one more thing. I see that if you're a Seattle Seahawks fan.
And Giants.
And Giants too. Okay,
yeah.
well, that's good. We can work with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's check it out inside.
I collect the bottles, and I try to kind of keep them in categories according to the brand or the country or the style. It's not that easy since there's so many beers out there. As you can look up here, these are my Sam Adams that go way across the other side of the liquor, all the way over. And if you get over to this side, over by Elvis, I have Widmer Brewing from Portland, Oregon. Where my taste for craft beer began. I lived in Portland, Oregon from 1980 to 95 and was there at the ribbon cutting of the Widmer Brewing Company.
Wow, nice.
So I've always had a passion for Widmer's offerings.
And I see the dartboard too. It's always nice, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
And the sports wall.
Yeah.
My wife Myrna and I, she's a Giants fan, I'm a Seahawks fan, but she is a huge supporter of the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. And this has been a converted beach
yeah, a little
house.
pool house.
Unbelievable,
Yeah.
pool house.
It was a mother-in-law apartment when we bought the place.
Great. Now you do brewing in here as well?
Yeah, Matt and I brew our own beers here. We've made a lot of different concoctions, and the kegerator you're looking at there usually has a couple beers on tap, either something we've brewed or just a commercial keg.
Right. Cool. And moving along, we have a lot of pictures on the wall here.
That's
nice.
our wall of shame. You'll probably have to fuzz all those out, you know, for people that don't want to have.
This is really incredible. You've done an amazing job with this place. It's so original. I haven't seen anything like this in Vegas at all. Video poker machine too. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just like to have fun here. It's a place for our friends to come hang out, watch a game, or go swimming, and just have a good time.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it.
Up on this shelf here are many trips to Australia. These are, from the speaker here over, these are all Australian brews you can't even get in this country, except maybe the Cooper's Brewing, and they briefly had Tooheys New. They were serving it by the bottle only at Outback Steakhouses, but I think they discontinued that, so you can't get a Tooheys anymore. That's a real good beer.
I think if we do a couple more beer shows here, we're going to have to build another house.
Yeah, I know.
There's
There's a lot of bottles under the sink and in various nooks and crannies that I don't have room for up on the wall.
Awesome.
And then this wall over here is our tribute to our World War II veterans. We've made some trips to Normandy, France, and elsewhere, and collected a lot of artifacts from our various bands of brothers.
Mm-hmm.
World War II vets are dying at about 1,000 a day, so we really like to pay homage to those men that preserved liberty and freedom for the world.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so what do you say we get to the fun part now and start drinking some beer? Okay, folks, we are live here at the Cantina, and you saw the outside, you saw the inside. We did a little tour here on this, and if you're here at home, we're going to start getting into some really good beers that we're going to be drinking here. We hand-picked these out, and I think you're really going to be impressed with these. I know we have a lot of beers to drink, and we got some good craft beer drinkers. We're going to find out what is the best here. So we're going to start off with Asylum. Now let me show you guys what this looks like, the bottle. And have we already poured Asylum?
I have a little right here.
Yes, sir. Okay. Have you have you ever
Oh my goodness.
have you ever heard
Like Belgium style beers in there. Oh, this is very.
have you ever heard of Asylum before?
No.
Okay, well let's give this a shot here. Yeah, that is a really good beer. That tastes good. We've heard of Left Coast Brewery many times. We've done a lot of shows and featured Left Coast already. Yeah, yeah. But you can't go wrong in San Diego, that's for sure. You know. So yeah, Left Coast they got a lot of really good brews. This is actually very tasty. We started off with the Lagunitas Sucks before, just as an intro. We were doing everything outside and everything. But going from that to this is a nice transition, right? Yeah. So then, what's your favorite beer? What do you like to drink? You like an IPA or what?
I do. I like La Fin du Monde. That's my roots, obviously. Winnie Brew makes great product. And Les Trois Pistoles, that's another good one.
Sounds good. Sounds like you're a watcher of the beer show.
Yes, I am.
Because we've actually highlighted all those beers. But anyway, in case you guys are tuning in late, we have to do another quick introduction. This is Jimmy. He's the Cantina guy. We have Matt here right next to him, and we have Sylvain to the right of me. So we're all set, and everybody knows who I am. So that's it. Okay. So anyway, your thoughts on this beer?
Boy, like I said, it has a malty flavor to it. Not a lot of hoppiness. I am not an IPA guy. However, I am slowly acquiring a taste for it because I've had some really outstanding IPAs. I just had the Dogfish 120, and my goodness,
it is. It's like drinking syrup.
Whole attitude about IPAs. If you don't like bitter beers, boy, that's a good place to start, and then work your way back.
Right. You could find the Dogfish 60 around here in town, and even the 90. The 120 is hard to find, but it's worth it if you do find it.
I'll show you a bottle of it here as we move on.
We've got a couple bottles we're aging.
Oh, okay, very nice.
One of the few IPAs that's suitable for aging.
Yeah, yeah. And Matt, your thoughts on this beer, the Asylum?
I like it. It's a good change of pace from Left Coast, North San Diego County. I'm expecting something really hoppy IPA type, American style IPA. And this is definitely a Belgian style beer. From the aroma to you can really get, and on the mouth you really get the Belgian yeast. So it's got a lot of character.
Yeah,
it's a good beer.
Yeah, I liked it too. And Asylum, it's kind of aptly named because we're almost here in a place where no one knows where we're at. So that's kind of funny.
We're lunatics. So
there's a very select group of people that know the secret location here, and they love it.
It's good to be a beer show subscriber, right? So okay, well, I guess we can move on. The next one we have on the list was the Space Cake Double IPA. Oh my God, that sounds pretty good. Space Cake Double.
Introduce one of the beers I brought from Seattle.
Well, that's what we want to do. We want to. Let's check out the pour on this too. Okay, let's see. Can you guys see that pour? Looks like it pours a nice white head on that. And let me just bring it up to the camera so you guys can see it at home. And this is a double IPA, and it's from a brewery called Clown Shoes Brewing. They are out in Massachusetts, I believe. And they are a sleeper brewing company because they have some really good, no one here in Vegas really knows who they are, but they've got some really good selections. We're going to have another one from them a little later on.
It has almost a floral aroma to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah, this is a good beer, isn't it?
Yeah. Again, for a non-IPA guy, this is a very good one. This is satisfying. I like this.
Yeah, pretty consistent with an East Coast IPA. It's not over the top bitter. It's not real piney and real citrusy with the aromas, but it's a very, very good, easy drinking beer. For like Jim Jim mentioned, he's not a huge IPA fan. This is the kind of beer that pushes people towards being IPA fans.
I would drink this.
This is it's a well balanced beer. It's beer. It's got some sugary maltiness to it, balanced out with some good hops, and just a tad bitter.
Have you had anything from Clown Shoes Brewery before this?
We have. I think we had like a stout or a brown ale. I can't recall, but I feel like we have. I could check my my Untapped app, my history. I'm sure it's in there. So, because I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to.
So while we're drinking this, you guys have to tell me here because I keep looking at this parrot. What's the story here?
Oh, my cousin Nancy from Seattle, she bought that for us as a little gift. Is this a G-rated show, or what's the rating on this?
There is no rating on the beer show.
I don't know if he's going to talk.
Who's a fucker then? Who's a fucker then?
Okay.
Enough for you.
Yeah.
There we are.
I've heard that before. But I like this. This is really cozy. This place. I feel like I'm the bartender almost. You know, this is great.
That is the favorite place to stand right there. Usually I'm on that side of the bar.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting here very often.
So Matt likes the label on the bottle, huh?
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's very cool.
It's
Let's show the label to the camera here, so see if they get it. I don't know if you guys can see that very well.
got like a video game superhero kind of vibe.
Yep.
And I like his smirking. He's looking at me smirking.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, yeah.
The voice was very straight up.
Well, again, this is the Space. What is this again? The Space
Double IPA.
Double IPA. The Space Cake Double. You know, I would expect something like the Space Cake to be a lot heavier than this is. This is actually kind of a light drinking beer, isn't it?
No, it tells you what I know. They say it's a West Coast style. So to me, I didn't think it was too West Coast.
Right.
Maybe I don't understand the East Coast style enough.
Maybe. Do you have any favorites? West Coast beers that are similar to this? Or?
None. My favorite IPA is the Hangar 24 Double IPA.
Really?
Wow. It's a hot bomb with just grapefruit notes. You know, aroma of grapefruit, taste of grapefruit. I really like it. I wish I could remember what hops they use. They use like 4 different hops in it, and they use some local honey that sourced there from Redlands.
It's funny, as you were talking about that, Jim's like, I know we have a bottle here somewhere. Right?
We have a bottle here.
I could step out of frame and probably procure them.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to be here for a while. You know, we had these 4 that we're going to feature, but it's hard to leave here without drinking a lot of beer, I guess, right?
Well said, my friend.
Folks, we are over at the Cantina here, somewhere in Las Vegas, in an undisclosed location. You saw, if you watched the intro to this video, how awesome this place is. And again, it's an authentic Vegas craft beer place. We love it here. Sylvain, what do you think about this beer? You finished yours off pretty quickly.
Yes, it was pretty good. Again, I think it's a nice progression from where we're going.
And look at this. We found the double IPA. Look at this, folks. This is the Hangar 24 double IPA that Matt was talking about. And I wouldn't be surprised if and this is the Dogfish 120. You guys know about that from a previous show. But again, we're really getting a good education on beer here. We're trying out a lot of these things.
Dogfish 120 is an interesting beer. It's almost, I've only had it when it was relatively new and it hadn't aged in the bottle at all. It was like a barley wine more than an IPA, but obviously hopped. I mean, it's super hoppy. So the bottles that we're aging right now are not even quite a year old, I don't think. I'd like to keep them. I'd like to keep them for. I've got 2 bottles. They're aging in my fridge, a little colder than I'd like to age them. I don't have a wine cellar or a wine fridge where I'd like to age them about 55 degrees, but I've got my outside beer fridge at 47 degrees. That's the warmest it'll get. So we'll see. But we'll see how long I can hold on to them. Maybe 2 years and we'll pop one open, and maybe in 3 years. Yeah. If I had the money, I would have loved to have bought a case.
Oh my God, that would have been great.
1 year for the next.
At $20 a bottle?
Yeah.
And the Dogfish 120 is not a faint of heart beer either. It's quite high in alcohol level as well.
Yeah, what's it say on there?
I think it's like 18 to 19.
Oh yeah, it depends on the year, the batch they've made it, but yeah, I think you're right. It's up there. Yeah, it's like barley wine. And it says right on there, age as well. So,
Like us?
If it's if it says it, it's true, right? That's the way I'm looking at this. But I have to say, this beer that we're just trying right now, the Space Cake, I'm actually enjoying it more now than I first started drinking it. It's kind of growing on me. Ever happened to you? Do you ever feel that way?
yeah, sometimes it'll warm up a bit in the glass.
Yeah.
It might be a little colder than ideal serving temperature. And just holding it with your hands, you're going to warm up the glass a bit, and you can get a lot more of the aromas released from it.
What you just said, Nat, mine was just sitting here for a few minutes in my hand while we were talking, and I just took the last little slurp out of the glass. And first thing I noticed, it had left a real nice aftertaste in my mouth.
Yeah, the reason a lot of beer is served very, very cold is because it's not that good of a beer, and you can't taste anything when it's cold.
Excellent point. Yes.
Now that said, I don't think any beer is really a bad beer. All beer for its time and place.
Yeah.
Except maybe Budweiser.
I don't think we'll find a Budweiser bottle in here. Will we, Jim? I don't think so. Probably not.
A few in the trash that my friends left here.
The closest, you'll find a shock top maybe.
Yeah,
That's
you'll find a shock top. That is always my default cheap craft beer when you go into a little pub that really has no selection.
Right.
You might get lucky and find a shock top or a blue moon, and that's about as good as it's going to get.
Or a bowling alley, right? You don't get the craft beer at the bowling alley either.
As much as I can't stand mass-produced, American Pilsners, I got to take my hat off to Coors and Anheuser-Busch for putting those out there to kind of, compete or get their little foot in the craft beer market. They, and the price is right.
Yeah, and they're
$6-7 for a
There's
six-pack.
there's a market out there for it, sure.
It's
They're good
drinkable
beers.
beer.
Yeah,
they're not
they're
bad.
very good beers. My only complaint is that they're not very transparent on where the beer is brewed.
Yeah.
Who brews it. And I get it. They're trying to compete with craft breweries, but just be honest. You don't want to be fooled. Know what let people know where their money's going. And I don't normally buy the shock tops or the blue moons just because I know they're corporately owned by the big giant companies, and I'd rather spend my $5 on a 22-ounce bottle of beer, or $10 to a small brewery. Working folks like us that are out trying to make a living. I'd rather give them my extra money.
Exactly. And over here in Las Vegas, we have a lot of craft beer breweries that are popping up. A lot of them are really, really good.
Amazing. I moved here 17 years ago, and it was culture shock coming out of the Northwest. I grew up in Seattle, and then spent 15 years in Portland when the craft brewing really took off, and then I moved back to Seattle for a couple of years when it was really, really getting going, and then boom, it's like getting the rug ripped out from you. Come to Vegas, in 1997, and it's like, oh my God, they were just getting Widmer in the supermarkets, and that was about as good as it got. And and it's come a long way. It really has.
Yeah, we've got some good breweries here. Tenaya Creek, Joseph James, Craft House. Those are the only three I've tasted. I've had a chance. I haven't had a chance to go to some of the newer places, but is it Banger Brewery?
Yeah, Banger Brewing downtown. We did a show at Banger. Yeah.
Great show. And unfortunately, I wish they extended their hours a little more. I've gone there during the day, and they don't open till 5. So I'm going to have to get an evening and go down.
You hear that, Nick? I know you're watching. I know it. So.
Business, you got to open that place up about 11, buddy. Seriously.
All right. So anyway, we finished 2 beers already. This is all pretty much thumbs up, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
So we got 2 thumbs up. Actually, 4 thumbs up on 2 beers already. And let's see the next one. It looks like we're going to stay with the Clown Shoes Brewing, and we're going to go to the Unidragon. Yes. I'm sure you guys have never heard of the Unidragon. Well, no. Again, Clown Shoes Brewing is the brewer on this. They've got a tremendous amount of selection. We've always liked their beers. The Unidragon, we figured it was just a good beer to try. It's a little bit more of a darker beer, though.
This is going to be my cup of tea, I can tell you already. Yeah. Absolutely. I like your porters, stouts.
We got one to finish up that's going to be incredible. So, I love the smell of this already. And we're waiting for Matt. Matt's in the refrigerator somewhere. He's trying to find something. Who knows? Okay, this is good stuff. This is what the beer pours like, as you can see here. Obviously, a darker, more porter style. It looks like, yeah, it's like a coffee, right?
Yes, absolutely. Very, very nice roasted flavor.
Okay, Matt is out there giving beers to the people in attendance here.
That's right. We have our lovely wives in the peanut gallery back here. Yes, another smoked bacon.
Oh, and bacon, and bacon. All right, nice choice here.
Local butcher shop here in town. They're in Tivoli Village. God, I wish I could remember the name of them. But there's a downstairs. There's the butcher. They do their own charcuterie there, and upstairs is a restaurant. But this bacon, fully cooked, tastes like a fine ham.
Bacon and beer. That's a new one to me. This is good. This is great.
Yeah. Say it again.
Charcuterie.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Which is
The French.
America.
Oui, oui.
We don't speak the French too good.
Sylvanger's amazing. He speaks 5 languages at least.
right.
Yeah, he's an amazing man. This is a good man to travel with. I'm telling you.
I think I've got 3.
He'll get you into some great
English,
places.
A little bit of Spanish and a lot of bullshit.
Yeah. I speak English and American.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna give this a shot here and see how it tastes. Woo. All right, that's pretty good, huh?
Yes, yes, very.
This is Jim's kind of beer, I could tell, right?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And what about you, Matt? Is this a?
Oh, I like it. Yeah, this is it's really good. It's got a lot of black coffee. Like initially, you get a good black coffee taste.
Yeah.
Malty, nice sugary malty backbone to it.
Anybody have the number to that mobile hangover crew that comes and gets you and drives you around? You know, we might have to give them a plug.
They should sponsor the show, actually. Those guys.
This is great. One thing about the Cantina that people love, we have a lot of sleeping accommodations. As much fun as we like to have here, a little disclaimer, nobody leaves this place intoxicated. Never have, never will. We take care of our guests.
Sometimes they sleep in the gutter out front, but they don't leave.
Well, we give them a blanket.
Yeah, there's a raft for the water too. You know.
Put some safety codes around them so the street cleaner doesn't get them.
You like that one?
Yeah, this is really good. I tend to like the more darker beers. Oh, you know, I haven't shown the label. Got to show you the label on the. This is the the Unidragon again, clown shoes. If you find this out there, if you see it at your local craft beer place, highly recommended to give this a shot. If you like a darker type of beer like this, definite coffee undertones on this.
Yeah.
Seriously strong. Yeah. Really liking this, actually. This is a really good one.
It goes good with the sweetness and the smokiness of the bacon.
As a matter of fact,
I'm going for the bacon too now. Yeah.
bring this flavor of the bacon back big time.
That's amazing.
This would also go good with chocolate too.
Folks, you'll learn a lot of cool things at the Cantina.
Yeah, beer really pairs well with food. It takes a little bit. You know, we think of wine, always pairing wine with food, and wine's great with food. I like to drink wine just as much as I like to drink beer. But sometimes beers can almost be easier to pair with food, just because I don't know the variety in beers. You've got things from super sweet imperial Russian stouts to really dry pilsners, you know.
You have the saisons too that are very wine-like as well. You know, we always keep saying this is our slogan: beer is the new wine. We say that all the time, and you're right. It's making it a lot easier to pair with foods. We see it more at restaurants and certainly bars here in Vegas. More craft beer than ever before.
Some of your finer restaurants are having not only wine dinners but beer dinners as well.
Right.
Where they'll-
Cooking with beer. I mean, there's so many recipes.
They're not
where
just
you
for
can
bratwurst
use beer.
anymore.
Yeah.
We have to mention this is the month for beer.
Yeah, Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest.
Yes.
So, you know.
The evolution of beer is quite interesting because there were always been rival between wine and beer. Back in the days, water was not good enough. You will always risk to get some sickness through drinking water. So you will drink either beer or wine. But unfortunately, in the history of the U.S., the beer's been polarized to the big brewery like Eisenhower-Busch with Budweiser, of course, and all these, which I call basically kind of like water-flavored beer.
Right.
Yeah, that's okay. But now in the last 15 years, all these new beer, these craft beer, really that's what opened what we're talking about right now. Allowing us to taste different beers and also pairing them with food like wine has been paired for many years. So it is a great evolution, and you can see it even on the younger crowd. We went to different beer shows, and we saw that the younger crowd will really try these new beers. Back in the day, the only thing you can get as dark as this was a Guinness, and that was the end of it.
That's it.
Which may be one of the best mass-produced beers in the world. Like Guinness is
I have nothing scientific to base this on whatsoever, but I'm thinking that craft beer at this point is probably given even some winemakers a run for their money because of its popularity.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
it's really it's helped out the beer industry in general, because as beer sales have declined over the last decade or so, craft beer sales have been increasing.
And the amazing thing is you can really customize a beer. Remember one of the show you did with the watermelon?
Yeah.
The guy put 200 pounds of watermelon in it. We try some with jalapeno. These are things you cannot do with wine.
No.
You will not throw jalapeno in wine. It doesn't work.
Yeah. And it's also interesting, you mentioned Guinness before. I kind of feel like Sam Adams is trying to push themselves as a craft brewer now. And they're huge, you know? But they have a lot of what they would call craft as well. So a lot of people are getting into it. The bigger stuff, they want to be in
I try not to get too caught up with the definition. You know, a good beer is a good beer. Sam Adams has done a lot for the American beer scene nationally.
And they're victim of their success, because what you said right there is kind of like people now will snub them because they got so successful that they have to produce in larger quantity these beer. So they're like on the fence right now. Either they're going to go one way or the other. They're either mass producer or still craft.
They make some great beers. They do. They make specialty beers.
But they don't have the bacon with it. And I'm telling you, this is a great addition to this beer.
Prosciutto.
Yes, exactly right.
Now, after you're done with the bacon, cleanse your palate with that beer, and then try some of this chocolate.
Oh, chocolate too.
50% chocolate, so it's got some sugar in it to really go with the malt, the maltiness of that Russian Imperial Stout.
Okay.
But it goes to show you the versatility of pairing. The same beer can go with a salty, savory bacon, and also with some chocolate. And it's a dark chocolate, but it's 60%, so there's sugar in it. You know, it's not as saccharine sweet as a milk chocolate candy bar by any means.
You know what? All beer shows are going to be at this location from now on.
Ham and chocolate? Bacon and chocolate? Life doesn't get better, right?
This is really good, folks. Yeah, it's really good.
More on beer today than I've spent the last month, so I'm having a great time. I'll give you a key.
So what are we going to try next?
Okay, our next beer is the, let's see, we had all this stuff. Oh, you know what we're going to do now? We're going to do the Witch's Brew.
Which one would that be?
The Witch's Brew. Boy, guys, folks, that chocolate idea was killer right there. You know, Matt really, he knocked it out of the park with that one. Boy, that's really good.
I got to tell you, I've known Matt about 5 years now, and him and I hit it off over beer at a mutual friend's home. Good dear friend, I love him to death. His cup of tea is your typical Bud Light, and then I'll walk over there with my 6-pack of Dogfish or something like that. And Matt happened to show up. He had lived in the neighborhood at the time and was a good neighbor. And he went, "Wow, Dogfish! I'll have one of those." And, "Oh, and I happen to have a couple of these, you know, from Hangar 24 or something." And boy, you know, it was a marriage made in heaven right there, you know. So Matt and I have been beer buddies, and then we got into brewing together. I told him that I was brewing beer. I did a lot of things with just kits. I buy a lot of kits from Homebrew Heaven. They're based out of Everett, Washington.
Okay, right.
And Matt got into that, and he decided to expand it a little further. And so we buy stuff from Vegas Brewing. Our good friend Steve has a nice shop up on West Charleston. and we started hand-picking ingredients and really going from scratch and developing some stuff. And with Matt's creativity and my expertise in the hardware and the whole brewing and fermenting process, we've really had some good fun doing that. And we're going to bring out a pumpkin brew that we brewed a year ago. That has been sitting here aging all this time, and it's time to birth it.
Bottle conditioning.
Yeah.
You know, normally we would tell you people if you're home, or even if you're watching this, and you come to the bar we're at, and drink these beers and sample them, with us. But tonight we're not doing it because we're a secret location that no one knows about. Underground here in Vegas. But okay, so our next brew is going to be the Witch's Brew, and this is a Belgian that was highly recommended to me. You started. He said it was fabulous, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, now obviously you have to like the Belgian. A lot of people that I know don't like this kind of style beer, but
you're up in my neighborhood now.
yeah. One in particular is, in case you're watching this, you're wondering where Dameron is. Dameron's usually on the show, and we miss you, D. Dameron is not here today because his Cardinals are playing. And he's a big-time Cardinal fan. He's diehard. He's like, I gotta watch the game, otherwise they're gonna lose.
If you pan the camera a little bit, you can see part of
Dodger
the game
fans
right
are
now,
still here.
Yeah, the Dodgers. Yeah, Darren, you should be drinking instead. Don't watch this game. I told you not to watch it.
3-1 LA.
Yeah. So, and again, that's a great thing about the Cantina. You can drink great craft beer. You're in a resort atmosphere outside. You've got a big screen TV, great couches, great food, great people. This is amazing. This place. I'm telling you.
It's a lot of fun. Probably if you email me with your info and a good picture and a background check and everything, you may get a pass to this place.
Well, I got everything but the background check. So okay, so let's try this here. This is the Witch's Brew. Witch's Brew. Yeah, that's good. That's
a nice Belgian style.
This is
beer there. It's got
This is a Jimbo beer here.
We need to switch from bacon and chocolate to cheese now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, we thought we'd go, high low on this, and this is really tasty. And again, this is about as 180 as you can get from the last beer that we tried.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's got a nice soft carbonation on it. It says it's bottle conditioned, so that's really nice.
Can you read the alcohol level on the bottle? Because if it doesn't taste like it's very high alcoholic, but I bet you it is, because these Belgians, 9.3. That's amazing.
Ron, can you disclose where you procured these?
Yeah, sure. We got these beers at Total Wines over at Boca Park, which is a great store. They have a great craft beer selection over there.
I was just in there last night and picked up some of my Seattle brews that we'll get into later.
Yeah, but let me just tell you about one thing, though. It's not their fault, but we get email suggestions on beers all the time from our fans, people who watch it, and we made a list of about 6 beers that we wanted to really feature on the show, and I took the list of Total Wine, didn't have any of them. And the reason being is because they're so rare. Some of them are in different parts of the world, the country, and you can't get. But our show is dedicated to really bringing those beers to our viewers.
A lot of it is just the distributors in town don't quite carry them yet. Elsian from Seattle is a really good beer, and it's actually in the inventory list at Total Wine. It's been there for 2 years, but they still haven't got a distribution deal yet, so you can't get it.
Yeah.
And just one corporate plug, it was supplied by Beer Syndicate LLC.
True. It was supplied by the Beer Syndicate LLC. That's another good point. We're going to be talking about that more in later shows. Right? We got to show the label. So, this is the Witch's Brew. Again, brewed out in Belgium. This is authentic, and it's quite good, I have to say. You like it really?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Now,
That's an easygoing beer. That's a beer that for me it's like no fuss. It's sweet, has a sweetness to it, makes it easy, no complication. You can tell it's refined. It's smooth.
And the place is going crazy in the background because the Dodgers just scored another run. As we started talking about the Dodgers, they start scoring. I'm sorry. Most of my friends are Cardinal fans. Sorry about that. But You know, you're just getting.
I'm not sorry.
But just getting back to one other thing we were talking about before, if you're a brewery and or you're a distributor and you're watching the show right now, we would love for you to get in contact with us and you know, send us your beers and we'll promote it on the show. Talk to like Jim, Matt, and Sylvain, and you know, we'll promote it for you just like we're doing here. All you gotta do is call us info@ilovebeershow.com, and you get right to us, or you go to the website and use the contact form. But okay, let's get back to this beer here. So this is another plus, right? Thumbs up on this or what?
Thumbs up. Food friendly. I just tried it with some goat cheese.
Oh, okay.
Very good. There's also a little
I think we should bring Matt to every event that we go to. This guy's unbelievable.
There's a little bit of a raspberry chipotle. Is that what it is? The cherry habanero. Cherry habanero jelly.
Well, I got to go
We'll see how
outside
that works.
and baste the pig that we got cooking.
Yeah. You'll bring Matt to a football game. I got these steaks, and he's got everything.
Well, he does too. Sometimes, yeah. Matt's brought over some good steaks that we've grilled up too. He's made some good beer barbecue sauces. That's
With our Obama beer.
That's right. Our Obama. Well, that's a whole other story.
It's been probably 2 years ago when news came out that the White House was brewing some beer. We thought, well, we'll try one of those. And they had
We found the recipe.
a honey porter. Yeah, it was available online. It was nice that they put it out there. Let's just say I don't agree with a lot that comes out of Washington in any branch of government at this point, but just the fact that they are brewing beer in the White House made me proud to be an American.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. Yeah.
That's true, and it's always nice to drink the 9% beer when you're talking about the White House in any way.
And
Exactly.
I think the best thing President Obama has done was have a honey porter brewed in the White House. So we called it Obama beer, and it came out pretty good. It was really, I mean, they had a nice recipe for us to follow. It was pretty simple to do at home. Anyone could do it. The recipe's still out there. If you're interested in home brewing, it's so easy to do.
I never even knew that existed. That's interesting.
Favorite policy of his.
Yeah. But it was good. It was really good. Our first batch was a little yeasty. We don't filter anything. It is what it is. You know, we ferment it, secondary fermentation, and put it in a keg. We kept the bottle for a year. Oh my goodness! And it mellowed over the year. I think most of the yeast had settled to the bottom. It was fantastic. It was fantastic a year later. Yeah.
Yeah, we popped
wish
that
we
open
had-
and it was like a bottle of...
We didn't have enough discipline to save more than one bottle. Though.
Yeah.
That's always a challenge, right?
A bottle of Dom Perignon, you know, from like 1933 or something. And,
Exactly
it was
like
amazing.
that. It was exactly like
Yeah. Yeah.
It was better though because we brewed it,
Yeah.
and it was a lot less.
There is a
expensive.
video floating around somewhere on my hard drive of that event too.
Is it on YouTube?
We'll have to look for that video then.
On YouTube, yeah. Well, I'll find it. We'll put the link up.
I will put the link to that video when I get it underneath this article when we post this video. So yeah, that's awesome. That's great. We'll have to make a little shelf later on over there, I think, for the beers that we're drinking tonight. I see a little bit of space in the corner there. So.
Special. Yeah.
So okay, so this was good too. Let's kick in the last one that we have here, which again is it's called Alien Stout. All right.
Matt, weren't you just saying when you came here you were trying to find a UFO themed beer or something, and then Ron showed up with this alien stout? It's like he read your mind, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Almost like an alien would, right? And you know, we did not plan that, right? We didn't plan it.
No. Yeah.
But we figured.
No transparency here.
Right.
Yeah.
We figured, you know, secret location here in Las Vegas somewhere. We're gonna finish off with the alien beer. I think that was really apropos. And again, the alien stout is obviously a heavier beer. It's a stout, all right? I never tried that, but we're gonna give this a shot here. Sylvain is pouring the alien beer. I believe the alien beer is out of Utah. Is that? Yep. I'm going to show you the alien beer, folks. You know, again, here's what the bottle looks like. If you find it on your shelves, you can give it a shot. If you were here with us tonight, you would be drinking this as well. That's why you want to text Beer Show to 95577. Get on our texting list. We'll text you before these shows and show you where you're at. And I don't know if you can see what Jim's doing here. This is This is an antique, isn't it? What you're holding right there? Show the camera if you can. This is really cool, folks.
Deal. Right there. See that? There we go. This candlestick phone literally came from the Woodrow Wilson White House. It was a gift from my mother from her second husband, who retired from the phone company, and it was a retirement gift that he received. And now it's in my hands. It's a functional phone too.
Very nice. Awesome. Boy, somehow presidents are getting into this conversation tonight. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to give this a shot here. Okay, it tastes very similar to the last one that we had, the clown shoes one.
It is, but it's not as coffee and doesn't have as much of a roasted taste to it.
Maybe not as sweet, maybe drier. Yeah, I'm gonna have to have a few sips. We had that Belgian style, so we'll see. We may have to drink a ball or two to decide.
There's a craft beer drinker for you right there. That's a perfect response.
That is good. I think maybe as the clown shoes was an iced coffee with some sugar in it, maybe a little sweet. This is maybe a black iced coffee, not as sweet, not as malty.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll tell you what, I like this. I have to say though, I think I like the clown shoes one a little bit better. Just my preference. But this is certainly not anything bad either. This is pretty tasty.
No. We have had nothing bad today.
I think maybe the clown shoes had a little more chocolatey notes to it than this one did, but I don't.
Chocolate's gone.
No, where'd it go? Oh, the girls have it. Would you guys want some? You want some more chocolate?
All right, that's it. And what's your take on this, Sylvain?
It's not as velvety for me as the other one, the clown shoes.
The clown shoes seemed a little creamier.
Yeah, velvety, creamier.
Maybe the head lasted a little longer. But this is not a bad beer.
No, it's not. It's not bad at all. I mean, if you're a fan of it.
If the head lasts longer, we're all happy, right?
What do you think about that?
It's a good beer. I believe it's the first craft beer I've ever had from New Mexico.
Yeah.
And I was telling Sylvain, there's a monastery, a Catholic monastery in New Mexico that brews their own beer. They're not Trappist, but that doesn't matter. They're brewing their own beer, so they're all right.
For the Catholics.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, there's not a whole lot of really authentic Trappist beer in the whole world, actually. So
in Belgium, there's like 6 or 7, and I believe there's only maybe another country in Europe. And I'm not sure if there's anywhere outside of Europe where they're. And I wish I'm not Catholic, and I can't tell you the exact definition of Trappist. Can you?
The word part, it's like les Jesuits. Inside of the Catholicism, you have different elite with different specialties.
For English speakers, that's Trappists and Jesuits. Continue. I'm sorry.
Sylvain drinks a couple of beers, and then you don't know what he's going to say, right?
Sylvain's eloquent. I'm just translating to American. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
But the end of the story was only that it's special.
Yeah.
So the Jesuits were like the smarter one. I don't know what the Trappist was at the time, but from the word, if it goes with the word trap, trappe, which will mean that they were more, their specialty was probably something quite different than the Jesuit.
Yeah.
How do you say Jesuit again?
Jesuit.
Okay, there you go.
Jesuit.
See, the beer show is taking all kinds of turns tonight, and we're learning a whole bunch of really cool stuff. But okay, well this was good. This was good too. We've got our 5 beers that we're going to feature tonight, and
I think we're gonna have one special one.
yes, I think Now we're going to go through a special one.
And I think we're gonna taste that pumpkin one.
Don't shake it. Oh, let me grab that.
All right, this was going to be what we're going to do now is off the charts. We didn't plan the rest of this, but again, when you're with Jim here and Matt, there's tons of surprises all the time, right? You got to be here. You know what? We're going to do this show again over here, I'm sure, and we'll get a couple of select people to join us with us here, because this is just too good to keep to ourselves, I think. So.
All right, you have to explain this beer.
Well,
This is the big ending of the show right here. This is the big end.
this is a pumpkin ale. We brewed a 5-gallon batch. How many pounds of pumpkin did we use? God, it's been nearly a year.
A lot of pumpkin. We roasted it, cut up the pumpkin, we gutted it, cut it up, roasted it.
We added the
threw it into the
spices
boil.
right towards the end of the boil, hour-long boil. Probably the last 5 minutes with the spices. We didn't put as much cloves in this one as we did in the previous year, because don't put too much cloves in your beer, kids. If you're making a pumpkin brew at home, don't ask me how we know. But the cloves are very overpowering, real astringent. It wasn't quite the sweetness you were looking for in a pumpkin beer.
But it was not wasted, right?
No, we drank every drop of it.
Okay.
It was wonderful. Do you remember? Do you have any idea?
Unlike one ingredient you added in one batch that totally.
Oh, we tried to bottle condition one of our beers with some raspberry jalapeno jelly. It didn't work. Didn't work. The sugars carbonated it. It was a bottle conditioned effort. The sugar from the jelly carbonated the beer, but there must have been some additional bacteria. There was some moldiness with too much.
Moving on.
Is that what we're trying? Trial and error.
Trial and error. But we've had a lot of trials.
That was batch 342A.
That was the only failure we've ever had.
Actually,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Some of our beers that we've brewed have been better than others, but that one was the one where it was only a growler.
So what are we expecting on this one, though? Is it going to be a failure or it's going to be a success?
I hope it's a success.
It all depends on what happens when that seals.
This beer was put in. This beer was flat when it was put in. We added the sugar to bottle condition. The yeast was still alive when we put it in here. So, and it's been quite a while.
It's been a year.
It's been a year. It shouldn't have changed too much because it's been in refrigeration at a fairly cool temperature. So, I'm hoping a lot of the sediment has settled to the bottom. So we'll see. Hopefully, the big thing is we want to hear a pop. We want to hear almost like a champagne bottle pop.
Okay.
So we want to know there's carbonation in it.
Right.
That's
Okay.
ideal.
All right. Sounds good.
If not, there's 2 more bottles. It doesn't matter. Just because this one didn't work doesn't mean the other 2 won't.
Okay.
It's craft beer. It's art, not a science. So you never know what you're gonna get. So
All right. Let's put the microphone up here. Let's make sure that we can see it on the camera.
we should probably get a towel just in case.
That happened with the Obama beer. It was kind of out of control.
Yeah.
Okay. This is fun. Okay. Here we go.
You say that about Obama.
Yeah.
Everyone thought it was fine, and then it
play
kind
on
of blew
words
up at
there.
the end.
Yeah.
What?
We won't go there.
All right. Let's see what happens, folks.
It was a little one.
Little pop on that. Little pop.
It was ready for a pour.
I'm always
Yeah,
ready.
and it'll mix well with the remnants of the stout.
Got to finish that one though. Sure. Well, it looks like a very nice pour. That's a nice color.
Not a lot of head on it.
No.
There's some carbonation.
And we'll show that to the folks at home here after you pour that. Again, this is the pumpkin ale.
Not a lot of carbonation.
Here you go. You see that? Yeah, it's not a lot of carbonation at all. But the color's nice. And this is the brew by Jim and Matt from last year, correct? All right, so here we go. Give this a shot. Okay.
This is good.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, yeah. It just needs a little bit more carbonation. Yeah.
See that last pour? Toward the bottom there? Got a lot of the sediment in it. So that's we're still learning. We're still learning.
Oh, well, that's what homebrew's all about. It's trial and error, no question.
It smells good.
It does, and it tastes good.
It tastes good. It's got a nice pumpkin. You can smell it.
Definitely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you know what else I like about it too? It's a pumpkin flavor, but it's not in your face pumpkin. It's like a nice little on your tongue. It's
Yes.
really, really
I think
good.
it's mellowed a bit over the year.
Looks like a wine beer.
That's good.
It's not bad. Seriously, it's not bad.
We'll take that as a compliment. Thank you.
No, yes. I mean, obviously, what we tried before, we put the bar very high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
we've got some other pumpkin beers in there, and Jim wanted to open one earlier, and I said, no, not until after we drink our pumpkin beer.
Yeah.
We don't want
Do you guys know what the alcohol content on a beer like this would be, more or less?
It wasn't high. I think it came out at about 6.
Oh, okay, that's kind of high. It's, you know.
Most of our beers come out around 5.
Yeah.
The sugars from the pumpkin, I think, bumped it up.
I did a barley wine once that came out about a year and a half ago, 2 years maybe. Came out at about 10.5. It was darn good. It was, again, from Homebrew Heaven, Everett, Washington. Google them. They have some great brew kits if you want to just do something simple. And it's called Death by Barley Wine. And it came out at 10.5, and it was darn good.
Yeah, probably leave about that much and then bottle in the next pour, because that's got a lot of sediment, that's a lot of the yeast, and some of the spent.
Well, again, like I said before, I'm going to say just craft beer brewing it's an art, but it's also fun, and part of it is experimenting, finding out what's right, what's wrong, etc. You did a great job with this one, though. You really did. You really did.
It's not that hard. It's fun. It's easy. There's so many people. Anyone that does it, especially here in the valley, or is willing to help you, give you advice. The guy Steve over here at Las Vegas Homebrew, he'll walk you through he gives you his phone number.
He's amazing.
When you're during the on brew day, he says, "Give me a call if you have any questions while you're doing it," and it's legit.
And the brew day itself is the fun day.
Yeah.
And
It's a lot of work, but you know, when you have a competitor like you have right now with Matt, that's fun.
I tell you, Steve has never disappointed me on the other side of it, because I keep my beers on tap. Hardware, commercial things, fittings, pipes, you know, all kinds of things that you need to brew your beer and keep it on tap, dispense it. Thank you, Matt. He's got it. And he knows. I mean, you say, I want to do this, or I need to replace this, or fix this. Oh, yeah, I got that right over here. I mean, he is just on the ball. Can't say enough about Steve.
And he's a Seahawks fan, right?
Yeah.
Well, back to the Seahawks. I know I couldn't enter this place unless I said Seahawks.
You know, that wasn't even part of it. You know, that came up later. I mean, above all, he's the man in Vegas for beer.
But the good idea here is to do that with a friend, like you're doing together.
Yeah.
And that's a fun thing.
Yeah, it's social.
It's
fun.
a social thing. It's fun. You have a lot of expectation from the result. You don't know what you're gonna get.
You never know what you're gonna get. We've had some not so good beers. We've had some great beers. We've never had a flop. Other than the only flop that was just a beer we had.
We just did it in the
We tried to condition it in a bottle, a special. You know, it didn't happen. But other than that,
Well, here's what I learned today from you guys. I learned that everyone in Vegas should just clear out their garage, take out everything from their shed, and build a monument to craft beer. That's what I learned. This is place. You guys are unbelievable. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Cheers.
I mean, this was great. This is really great. And folks, if you have ideas as to where we should be doing our shows, you let us know. Again, you can contact us right from the website, ilovebeershow.com. Like us on Facebook. There's a link to the website there for Facebook. And text Beer Show to 95577. You'll get on our texting list. You'll find out where our shows are going to be, where we're going to be at. You're going to get to meet people like Jim and Matt and Sylvain, and really enjoy craft beer drinking at its finest. Because really, this was a great day today. Great day.
Thank you.
You guys are.
October, right?
Oktoberfest has begun officially. Pumpkin beer. There we go. Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers.
Great. Well, thank you very much, and we'll be at you next time.
Australia is one of my favorite places I've traveled to. My wife and I have made about 3 trips there. And Bundaberg is the big rum out of Australia, and you can only get it in Australia in a few Commonwealth nations. And actually, if you really like it, you can order it from the Whiskey Exchange online. But it's expensive. It comes out of London, and you pay for the rum and like $60 in shipping, and you can get it. Anyway, Bundaberg makes a really good rum. This is Bundy Bear, their mascot, right here, and I absolutely love Bundaberg. This is their overproof rum, the OP. This is their standard bottle, just Bundaberg rum. Then you have the Reserve, the Rich Dark, and the red is my favorite. Absolutely love the red. And then the distiller number 3. Now, I met some folks last summer from Australia, and they were kind enough to tell me that their parents were following them in about a week, and they said, well, I'll have Mom bring me another bottle. And so I was very lucky to get a fresh bottle of the red, which is my favorite. So that's my Bundaberg story.
It sounds like the I Love Beer show is more about just beer
Oh
tonight.
my God, yeah. Beer and good rum.
Let's go Cardinals!
Let's go Dodgers!